Hello everybody, it's Jonathan, Senor Smoke from Curtos in Westchester County. I bid you welcome on this beautiful, beautiful early spring day. It's late March and the red-breasted robins are out chirping, baseball is swinging, and we are here to talk high-end gas premium grills. Particularly we're going to focus on the Alfresco infrared sear burner and whether you really need it or not. Now, if I looked at my grill sales over the last few years, high-end grill sales, I will tell you that an infrared sear burner was typically a must-have for the consumer. The grill companies sold that as a sexy feature that one needed to get that really true, deep caramelized sear that you would only see at a steakhouse. Well, I have, over the course of the last, I'd say about a year or so, dispelled that notion in a series of videos. And what I do now on my Alfresco grill, okay, on my Alfresco grill sales, I always tell customers really not to get it, because in my opinion, when you're getting a 36 or a 42-inch grill, the embedded sear zone is taking up way too much real estate. It's a real estate decision, folks. It doesn't make any sense. And I've had people come to me and say, well, do the Alfresco, they'll ask me actually, how do you sear then? Okay, so what I've been doing over the past year is I've been using my solid fuel box, a solid fuel insert, to get my sears, because once I got that, I really stopped cooking on the gas burners for the most part. I would use, the burners to light up the solid fuel box, and I'm cooking over solid wood, live fire. There's nothing like it. Get primal, people. That's the way to do it, like the cavemen. So over time, people have asked me, well, let's just remove the solid fuel box out of the equation. Are you searing? And the question was, I wasn't really doing it. My 42 that I have, I do have an infrared sear burner. That's just the way that I got it, and I will use that from time to time. But it keeps coming up in conversations this year, and I said to myself, at some point I am going to just get a really big, thick piece of meat. I'm going to throw it on the normal burners, and I can sear on it. I've done it before, but I want to see really how deep it is. Just going to get down to testing, and there goes the guy again with the leaf blower. He probably had a beer in between, annoying the rest of the neighborhood, but whatever, we'll get to that later. So what I decided to do was get, again, a very large piece of beef, throw it on there, no infrared sear burner, no solid fuel box. We were just going to go straight up with the normal Alfresco burners and see what happened, okay? And I'm going to tell you about my results in a second, and I'm also going to tell you a story about a guy who just bought an Alfresco 42-inch from me without the sear zone, and what his results were on letting the grill rip. So I go down to Arthur Avenue, which is Little Italy of the Bronx, and I got myself a beautiful 2.5-inch thick Porterhouse steak. It was absolutely, it was so beautiful, I didn't want to even cook it, okay? Rubbed it up with some olive oil, hit it with some salt, always the coarse kosher sea salt, a little bit of pepper, okay, and then we put it right on. Now, here's the key thing, okay? Remember, there's no infrared sear burner involved with this at all. Shut down. No solid fuel box. Ready? We're just doing the normal burners. So what I did was I turned the burners on and I let them rip. They were on high for a good 10 to 15 minutes. Sprayed the grates down with some canola oil or grapeseed oil if you have that as well. Never use olive oil. And after about 10 to 15 minutes, I came out with the meat, all right? And I laid that on there. Bang, searing heat. Flare up started, no doubt about it. Very, there's a lot of fat, a lot of marbleization. This is prime cut of beef. So you have to have yourself a nice pair of tongs, grabbed the Porterhouse by the bone, had to shuffle it around a little bit. We had a little bit action. You're not just going to sit there with libation in hand and just watch the thing cook and flip. Not going to happen. You got to work it a little bit. This was intense searing heat coming off of this grill. Okay, so I moved the beef around. I did my little quarter turn to get the crosshatch marks. Probably kept it on one side for about 5 minutes, I'd say. Then did the flip. Okay, again, I had a lot of flameage coming out. Those Alfresco ceramic briquettes were trying to do a thing to suppress that flame, but what I kept doing was moving it. So you got to work it a little bit. We like the flare-ups. We like the flame kisses. We don't like sustained flare-ups. So again, moving it around, quarter turn to get the crosshatch marks, and then after about probably on there for close to 8 minutes, if, you know, I'd say maybe even a little more. I took out my Thermapen, hit it inside. I was at about 125. I knew it was time to pull it. Took it out, put it up on the warming rack, okay, for a couple of minutes, let the meat relax, let it temp, and then brought it inside. Again, just let the meat relax for about 10 minutes, cut into it. Oh my God, it was absolute art. Should have been framed, should have been framed. I can tell you right now, with everything that I have cooked in this yard in the last 3 to 4 years, this was one of the best things that I have ever produced. And I swear, okay, this cut of steak could have been served at any of the finest steakhouses in New York City, DC, Chicago. I don't care where you're coming from. This was ridiculous. If you like medium rare, I was edge to edge with a beautiful thick char on the outside. My wife, who's not even much of a carnivore, said, you knocked it out, okay? The only problem was I didn't get to eat much of it because my kids, my little ones, devoured it, okay? What are we gonna do? Anyway, so the moral of the story here is that without an infrared sear burner, without the solid fuel insert, though, the Alfresco normal burners, don't ever think to yourself, you're not gonna catch a beautiful sear on those. I know I haven't talked about the burners a lot. I'm so wrapped up in either yay or nay on the Hellfire burner, or I'm just waxing poetically about the solid fuel insert. The fundamentals of this grill are those burners, and they rock, okay? Folks, if there's any questions, hit me up, Jonathan@Curtos.com. Come visit us in the tri-state area. And remember, to all my folks who live across the contiguous United States, we will ship Alfresco to you. Free shipping, folks. So give me a ring, 1-800-966-2878. Peace.